rarer than a sober Scotsman on Hogmanay. Ferrari's top 10 hidden gems. Welcome you lot to a showdown of automotive exotica so exclusive, so rare that even I, a man who's seen more horsepower than a Kentucky Derby, had to double take. We're talking about Ferraris, yes, but not the ones your average dentist with a midlife crisis fantasizes about. These are the hidden gems of the Ferrari world that even the most die-hard fans might not be aware of. Cars so exclusive, they make a Rolex Daytona look about as common as a Toyota Corolla in a supermarket car park. We're talking limited production runs, one-off prototypes, and enough history to make your average museum curator weep with envy. So buckle up, grab a stiff drink, you'll need it to cope with the sheer beauty, and get ready to delve into the world of Ferrari's finest and most elusive creations. The 250 GTO, if cars were currency, this would be Fort Knox. Here it is, the Holy Grail, the automotive equivalent of finding a first edition Shakespeare signed by the Bard himself, the Ferrari 250 GTO. They only ever made 36 of these beauties, and each one is worth more than a small island nation. We're talking tens of millions of pounds, dollars, euros, whatever you're having yourself. Why so pricey? Well, picture this, a prancing horse sculpted by the gods themselves, packing a V12 engine that sings a more beautiful opera than Pavarotti on a good day. Add to that a racing pedigree longer than my list of speeding tickets, and you start to get the picture. The 365 GTB4 Daytona Spider Sunshine, speed and 70s swagger. Next up is a car that just screams Miami Vice louder than Don Johnson in a pastel suit. The Ferrari 365 GTB4 Daytona Spider. Only 122 of these drop tops ever saw the light of day, which is a crying shame because just look at it. It's got curves in all the right places, a V12 that could make a choir boy swear, and a folding roof that turns heads faster than a supermodel at a garden party. Back in the day, this was the ultimate symbol of success, the kind of car that made you feel like you could outrun the cops and the taxman, all while looking effortlessly cool. The F50 GT, the one that got away. Now imagine a car so extreme, so hardcore that Ferrari only built 3 of them, not 30, not 303. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the F50 GT. This, my friends, was Ferrari's answer to a question nobody dared to ask. What if we took our already bonkers F50 supercar and turned it into a Le Mans eating monster? The result was a car so fast, so aerodynamically slippery, it made fighter jets look like they were standing still. Sadly, the F50 GT never got its chance to conquer Le Mans, but its legend lives on as one of the most extreme Ferraris ever conceived. Chapter 4. The 288 GTO, the original winged wonder. Before the F40, before the Enzo, there was the Ferrari 288 GTO. Think of it as the original supercar, a car so wild it made grown men weep and small children hide behind their mothers' skirts. With only 272 ever made, the 288 GTO is a rare beast indeed. It's got a twin-turbocharged V8 that sounds like a volcano erupting through a megaphone, and enough spoilers and scoops to make a Boeing 747 jealous. This is a car that doesn't just want to go fast, it wants to tear a hole in the space-time continuum. Chapter 5, the 275 GTB4 Nart Spider, the King of Cool's ride. What happens when you combine the coolest car company in the world with the coolest actor on the planet? You get the Ferrari 275 GTB4 Nart Spider, a car so desirable it could make a nun kick a hole in a stained glass window. Only 10 of these beauties were ever made, and one of them was owned by the one and only Steve McQueen. That's right, the King of Cool himself drove this very car. It's got a V12 that sounds like angels singing after a particularly good vintage, and looks that could make a nun swear like a sailor. Chapter 6. The 512S Modulo, a spaceship disguised as a car. Now prepare to have your minds officially blown. This is the Ferrari 512S Modulo, a concept car so out there it makes a UFO look conventional. This is what happens when Ferrari lets its designers off the leash and tells them to go completely bonkers. The 512S Modulo is a one-off masterpiece. a rolling testament to the power of imagination. It's got a wedge-shaped body that looks like it was designed by NASA, a canopy that slides forward for entry, and a V12 engine mounted behind the driver like a mechanical heart. Chapter 7, the 330 P4. A racing legend in red and yellow. Back to the world of motorsport now, with a car that's as legendary as it is beautiful. The Ferrari 330 P4. This, my friends, is a car that was born to race. A car that dominated the world of endurance racing in the late 1960s. Only 3 were ever made, and each one is worth more than a small country's GDP. With its iconic red and yellow livery, the 330 P4 is instantly recognizable as a Ferrari, and its V12 engine sounds like the gates of hell have opened. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a car named after a legend, the Ferrari Pininfarina Sergio, a tribute to the late great Sergio Pininfarina, the man who shaped some of the most beautiful Ferraris ever made. Only 6 of these were ever built, each one a rolling work of art. It's got a body that's both elegant and aggressive, a V8 engine that sings a sweeter song than a choir of angels, and a price tag that would make your bank manager faint. The name says it all, a Testarossa, Italian for redhead, and trust me, this car is as fiery as its name suggests. The Ferrari 250 Testarossa is a legend of motorsport, a car that dominated the world of sports car racing in the late 1950s and early 1960s. It's got a V12 engine that sounds like the apocalypse is upon us, a body that's as beautiful as it is aerodynamically efficient, and a racing pedigree that's longer than my list of ex-wives. Only 34 were ever made, making it one of the rarest and most valuable Ferraris in the world. And finally, we come to a car that proves Ferrari is still at the top of its game. The LaFerrari Aperta. This is Ferrari's first foray into the world of hybrid hypercars, and boy did they knock it out of the park. It's got a V12 engine that works in harmony with an electric motor to produce a combined output of 950 horsepower. That's enough to launch you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds and onto a top speed of over 217 miles per hour. With only 210 ever made, the LaFerrari Aperta is a rare and collectible beast. So there you have it. 10 of the rarest, most desirable and most downright incredible Ferraris ever created. From the classic lines of the 250 GTO to the futuristic design of the LaFerrari Aperta, these cars represent the pinnacle of automotive engineering and design. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the rarest Ferraris you didn't know about. We've explored everything from million-dollar classics to one-off prototypes, proving that when it comes to building extraordinary automobiles, Ferrari has no equal. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing content. Until next time, keep the dream alive, and remember, it's always more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow.